Welcome to No Silver Spoons, the podcast that tells it like it is when it comes to leadership, business, and building something real. Now in its third season, this show is hosted by Sarah Beth Herman, a 5-time CEO who's built 5 personal brands, making over 8 figures while staying for the communities she served. Why no silver spoons? Because in leadership, no one hands you success on a platter. There's no shortcut, no easy pass, and definitely no silver spoon. It takes grit, intentionality, and showing up as the core version of you. This podcast is about what happens when you put in the work and take ownership of your path. When you decide to build it step by step, no excuses. Every week, you'll get tools, stories, and fresh perspectives to keep you moving toward the results you want. You'll walk away with clarity and focus on what actually moves the needle without the fluff. And with Sarah Beth's sharp insight, infectious energy, and no-nonsense approach, you'll remember why you're here: to lead, to grow, and to make it happen. So buckle up. This isn't just another podcast. This is No Silver Spoons. Let's get to work. Now, here's your host, Sarah Beth Herman.
Welcome back to this episode of No Silver Spoons, the podcast that I've created for self-made entrepreneurs who have built their success from the ground up. If you're someone like me who's had to figure out sales, figure out business strategy, and figure out leadership all through trial and error, then I believe this podcast is for you. And today I'm breaking down what it really means to build something from the ground up without shortcuts, without silver spoons, and without a roadmap that's handed to you. Today, I want to talk about where I think it starts. And I think it all starts at the psychology of sales. This is something most entrepreneurs don't fully grasp until they've been in business long enough to realize that sales isn't just about getting people to buy. It's about what happens before, during, and after a sale that determines whether a customer, client, patient stays, returns, or walks away. And I want to break this down in a way that makes sense so that you can walk away from this episode with that actual understanding of what's going on in the mind of your consumer and how you can take control of that process. So if you're someone who deals in sales by overseeing a team that sells your product, your service, your experience, this is for you. And I want you to grab a pen, a paper, the notes app on your phone, whatever that looks like, and take notes because this episode is going to matter. I believe that sales doesn't end when the money hits your account. That's the moment when the work begins. People don't just buy to buy. They buy because they believe they are stepping into something better, whether that's a better version of themselves, a better solution to their problem, or a better experience, or the start of an experience. And the moment that transaction happens, they start evaluating if what they just did was a good decision. If you don't guide them through that, if you don't make them feel secure, if you don't give them something to hold on to after that purchase, they're going to question it. They'll start second guessing. They will start to disengage. And that's how you lose people. Not because your product or service isn't great, but because they don't have the clarity on what's next. If you've ever had someone who has been really excited to buy from you, they were all in, they were ready to make action, ready to do it. Here's my card, just take it. And then something shifted. They stopped responding. They started doubting. Maybe they even asked for a refund. And I think this episode is going to make everything click for you. It's not about just closing the sale. It's about maintaining the sale. And today, I'm going to talk you through exactly how to do that. We're going to cover everything from buyer's remorse to stagnation. That moment when someone gets stuck after buying something and doesn't know how to move forward. And the best part is that you can fix this. You can create an experience so strong, so connected, that people won't just stay, they'll become your biggest advocates. I'm also going to be sharing 3 powerful strategies that will make sure your clients stay engaged. Your customers are coming back. Your patients are excited and connected after they've purchased from you. These are strategies that separate businesses that thrive from businesses that struggle to retain their consumer. Before we wrap up today's episode, I'm introducing Network Now, a brand new virtual networking event designed for entrepreneurs and business owners who want to build real connections. No gimmicks, just an opportunity for real conversations and moments for you to actually grow your business with the right people in your corner. Learning that you do belong in rooms that level you up so you can grab those beneath you and bring them to your level. An opportunity for you to speak in front of others, network with others, and truly only taking 15 minutes of your work week. For the entire month of March, it will be completely free. We're kicking it off on March 17th. And if you're someone who's been looking for a space to connect with like-minded entrepreneurs, to have real conversations about business, sales, leadership, then you've got to be here. So stick around. By the end of this episode, you're going to have the tools, the confidence, and the strategy to build a business that doesn't just make sales. It builds relationships, trust, and long-term success. Let's be honest. Sales makes a lot of people uncomfortable. It makes people nervous. We've been conditioned to think of sales as something awkward, something pushy, even sleazy. We've seen it done the wrong way too many times. Cold DMs that feel invasive, high-pressure tactics that make people cringe, pitches that sound like someone is just trying to convince you to spend money rather than actually helping you. Key words like abundance. Oh, you'll be living in a life of abundance if you just join my program. Things that make you feel like they literally just want your credit card number, and if you don't pay, you suck. You're the worst person. You are terrible because you haven't chosen them. If you've ever felt uncomfortable selling, I want you to hear this loud and clear. Sales does not have to feel embarrassing. It doesn't have to feel nerve-wracking. It doesn't have to be pushy, and you don't need to feel secondhand embarrassment for someone else when they're doing it a way that you wouldn't do it. If you've ever read anything from Jamie Kern-Lima, you know that confidence in what you sell changes everything. She talks about how people can feel it when you believe in it. They can feel it just as much when you don't, and that's the truth. If you believe in what you sell, sales becomes an act of service. If you stand behind your offer, sales becomes a way to help. If you know your product or service is genuinely valuable, then not selling is actually doing people a disservice. Did you catch that? Not selling is actually doing people a disservice. Selling is not about tricking people or pushing them into something they don't need. It's about an exchange of trust. When someone buys from you, they're saying, I trust you. I trust that what you have to offer is going to make my life better. And when you deliver, when you follow through, when you show up for your customers with confidence, clarity, and purpose, you reinforce that trust over and over and over again. And that's why today's conversation is so important. Because if you understand what happens after the sale, you can keep that trust going. And when trust is strong, your business doesn't just survive, it thrives. So here's what we're diving into. First, let's break down the psychology of sales. What's actually happening in the minds of people when they make a purchase, and why so many of them start questioning it immediately after. I'm going to give you 3 real-world strategies to make sure that your clients and customers stay engaged long after the sale. And they're not fluff strategies. They're things that are actually going to make a difference in how you operate, how you communicate with your customers, and how you build a business that people want to keep coming back to. When I first started in sales, I thought the key was getting people to like me. I thought if they saw me as a good, trustworthy person, they'd buy from me. They could get along with me. If I could compliment them enough, they would buy. And while being likable and approachable does matter, I learned that sales is not just about being liked. It's about understanding people. It's about knowing how to communicate in a way that connects with the person on the other end of the conversation. And this is where understanding masculine and feminine energy in sales comes in. Whether you're speaking to a man or a woman, people operate in different energy spaces. Some people respond better to direct, results-driven communication, that masculine energy, while others connect more with relational, emotional-based messaging. That's the feminine energy. If you don't understand which energy someone operates from, you may be speaking in a way that doesn't land with them. You could be giving them facts and figures when what they really need is to feel seen and heard, or vice versa. And here's what happens when people don't feel understood. They hesitate, they doubt, they disengage, they don't call you back, they don't follow through with enrollment, they don't sign up, they don't pay. And I've experienced this firsthand. There were times when I thought a sale was locked in, only to have somebody back out at the last minute. There were moments when clients who had already bought from me suddenly decided they didn't want to continue. And it used to tear me apart. I took it personally. I wondered, what am I doing wrong? Why wasn't I good enough? Why I couldn't keep everyone happy? What was happening in my world? But what I've learned is that other people's opinions and decisions are not a direct reflection of my worth or my business. Their perception is shaped by their past experiences, their expectations, and what they thought they were going to get versus what they actually got. Not everyone will be happy. Not everyone will stay. And that's okay. The goal in my journey and yours is that we will not achieve perfection, but that we will always evolve. People will dispute a payment. People will talk negatively about you, but people will also love you. They will support you. They will be inspired by your journey. And your job is to make sure that you'll have more positive than negative interactions and to never let the negative ones define your success. Sales is not a one-size-fits-all process. The way you sell a product, a service, a virtual program, or a webinar is all entirely different. Each of these models comes with its own challenges, buyer psychology, and post-sale expectations. So if you don't understand these nuances, you're going to struggle with conversions and customer retention. So let's break down each of these models and what you need to know about navigating them. Let's start with selling a product. When you're selling a product, whether it's physical or digital, the biggest challenge is differentiation. Customers are constantly bombarded with options, and their decision-making process is often fast and very emotionally driven. The psychology behind product sales is centered on immediacy and perceived value. People want to know, what makes this different? Why should I buy from you instead of someone else? And how will this product make my life easier, better, or more enjoyable? Once they buy, their expectations shift to experience and convenience. A smooth purchasing experience, fast shipping for those physical products, and clear instructions for digital products determines their satisfaction. The biggest post-sale danger in product-based sales is buyer's remorse. That feeling of regret when they wonder if they should have spent their money elsewhere. This is why post-purchase engagement such as thank you emails, product tutorials, and incentives for repeat business is so important. Now, when you're providing a service, maybe this is a dentist, a physical therapist, a coach, a consultant, selling a service is completely different from selling a product because you're selling trust, expertise, and a transformation over time. That coach, that consultant, whoever you are providing a service, people are buying a relationship, not just a one-time solution. The psychology here is rooted in credibility. Before they buy, they ask, does this person have the skills, the knowledge, and the reputation to solve my problem? Do I feel comfortable with them? Can I see myself committing to this process? The post-sale expectation in service-based industries is ongoing reassurance. People want to feel taken care of, not just sold to. The biggest mistake service providers make is disappearing after the transaction. If you run a medical or dental practice, patients should receive appointment reminders, follow-ups, educational content. If you're a coach or a consultant, clients should get clear steps, check-ins, personalized attention to keep them engaged. Neglecting these touch points leads to disengagement and cancellations. I've learned this the hard way in business. And actually, I didn't even know that this was part of the sales process. I just realized that people were disengaging at certain touch points and lack of touch points. So I created touch points, created ways that I was going to engage differently. When you're selling virtual programs and webinars, the challenge is different. These kind of programs are perceived commitment versus actual engagement. People sign up with the best of intentions, but without proper structure and accountability, they don't follow through. The psychology of this sale is based on aspiration. Buyers think about the end result. They imagine themselves transformed after your program, but the reality is that life gets in the way. And without intentional design, they won't complete what they started. The post-sale danger in virtual programs is stagnation. The moment a participant starts falling behind or feeling disconnected, they mentally check out. To prevent this, you've got to start progress markers, regular touch points, engagement incentives. Send milestone check-ins, create small wins, celebrate successes. If a program is live, having real-time interaction makes a huge difference. If it's self-paced, build in accountability mechanisms. like community groups or progress tracking. I learned when I was creating a mastermind that people were never going to be available to meet every week. It was just never going to work because there are things happening in people's lives every single week. But if we met every other week, I had twice as much more engagement. Now, engagement was never 100%, no matter what the ticket was of the program I created, but engagement was still there. And every week people were showing up. Maybe it was only at 80%, some weeks 50%, but having it every other week changed everything. Even if I had a space where the entire community chatted, I still had to have multiple areas we connected, multiple touch point options. Because when I left out one, engagement changed. But when I increased engagement and had multiple modalities where we could talk, it changed everything. When I offered one-on-one opportunities once a month with everybody that was part of my group, people took advantage of it. It was my one-on-one opportunity. Now, does everyone take on the one-on-one opportunity? No. But I would say 80% of my team did. You see, I'm learning as I grow as an entrepreneur that psychology is everything. No matter what you sell, understanding your customer or consumer's mindset is the most powerful tool you have. Are they driven by impulse? Do they need validation? Are they hesitant because of trust issues? The more you study these patterns, the better you can structure your sales process to guide them from initial interest to long-term loyalty. Sales is not manipulation. It's understanding people. When you truly grasp the psychology behind why people buy and what keeps them engaged, you're not making sales just to make sales. You're actually building a business that lasts. Entrepreneurship is not meant to be a solo journey. If you look at the most successful business owners, leaders, and industry giants, they all have one thing in common. They surround themselves with people who challenge them, who push them, and expand their thinking. It's easy to get comfortable in circles where you're the smartest, most accomplished person in the room. But if that's the case, you've outgrown that space. That's not arrogance, that's growth. And real growth means recognizing when it's time to step into bigger rooms. A common mistake entrepreneurs make is staying in familiar spaces because it feels safe. They continue networking in the same groups, talking to the same people, and seeking validation from circles they've already surpassed. But success is about putting yourself in rooms where you are challenged, where you feel slightly out of place, where you have to stretch to keep up. That's how you level up. Statistically, entrepreneurs with strong networks are significantly more successful than those who try to navigate business alone. According to a study by Harvard Business Review, 78% of startups attribute their success to networking. And entrepreneurs with extensive networks grow their businesses at a rate of 3 times faster than those without. Surrounding yourself with high-level individuals isn't just beneficial. It's necessary. Your net worth is determined by your network. If you're consistently in rooms where people are playing small, you'll subconsciously limit yourself to their standards. But when you step into spaces where people are making bold moves, when you're talking about investments and high-level strategies, your mindset shifts. You start to see new possibilities. You start to believe in bigger opportunity. Recognizing that you need to be in different rooms is a skill. It takes awareness to realize that your growth is being capped by your environment. If you're always the one teaching, leading, mentoring, but no one is challenging you in return, you'd stop growing. You cannot pour from an empty cup. The best leaders, the best mentors, the best entrepreneurs, they elevate others. But in order to pull others up, you have to be the first to raise your own level. You need to learn from those who've already walked the path you're on. You need to surround yourself with people who make you think bigger, who introduce you to new strategies, who challenge your perspectives. And that's exactly why Network Now was created. What is Network Now? Network Now is a weekly virtual networking event designed for serious entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate. This isn't just another networking event where people show up to pitch their business and hope for sales. It's about real connections, real learning, and real opportunities to grow. The first session, starting on March 17th, the membership to Network Now will be completely complimentary. Every Monday, we're going to meet from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. The first 15 minutes is a focused training on business growth strategies, sales psychology, leadership psychology, scaling psychology, what it means to be an entrepreneur. And the last 15 minutes is optional. It'll be open to networking, to connect and collaborate with other entrepreneurs, to give feedback on what we learned, to give tips and things based on what we chatted about in the first 15 minutes. Why is Network Now different? Most networking events focus on what you can get. Network Now is built on the foundation of what you can give and who you can become. This program isn't just about showing up and meeting people. It is about actively participating in a network that levels you up. When you become a paying member of Network Now, you don't just get access to networking, you get a platform to grow. The benefits of membership include an exclusive LinkedIn group, a private community where high-level conversations happen daily. This is where our members will share their information, their strategies, their opportunities, their experience. This will challenge you to use LinkedIn to your benefit, to learn the powerhouse that LinkedIn is, and how I have literally created $1 million organization just on networking on that site alone. We will have exclusive Zoom networking events. They're not just casual meetups. They're structured, high-valued sessions where you meet, collaborate, and learn from other serious entrepreneurs. You will get an opportunity to speak and to train. Members will get the ability to host a 15-minute training session during Network Now calls, positioning themselves as an authority in their industry. If you want to build credibility and get comfortable presenting, you need to start putting your face in front of other people that can give you feedback, that can learn from you, that can level you up. You will get hands-on experience leveling up. Members won't be just here to learn, here to receive. They will be actively practicing the stepping up into the leadership roles they need to be in. So whether it's hosting a discussion or you're sharing some sort of strategy or you're leading a breakout session, Network Now members will get real experience of becoming the entrepreneur they were always meant to be. For the remaining month of March, Network Now is free. That means you have zero barriers to step into the room that will challenge you to grow. After March, the membership will open for those who are serious about investing in their network and their future. If you love the experience and you want to continue, you can become a full member and unlock all of the benefits that happen with this. You can sign up right now at the link in the show notes to claim your spot for our next session. If you're serious about leveling up, if you're ready to be in rooms that push you to think bigger, then this is where you need to be. Success is not about doing it alone. And for our That's Good moment today, I want you to remember that every high-level entrepreneur, leader, and innovator has a network that supports and elevates them. And if you've been feeling stuck, if you've been questioning why things aren't moving faster, why the sales aren't happening, why you aren't retaining the clients, take a look at who you're surrounding yourself with. Are you in a room that's challenging you? Are you being pushed to level up? Or are you staying in a space that's comfortable, familiar, and totally easy? If you want to raise your income, raise your impact, and raise your influence, you need to raise your environment first, and that starts now. Join us at Network Now, where you're not just networking. We're building the next generation of leaders, entrepreneurs, and industry changers. I'll see you on March 17th. And if today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. DM me on Instagram or LinkedIn. Don't forget to sign up for Network Now. The best connections you'll make are the ones that help you grow. I'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us in another episode of No Silver Spoons, powered by Dentistry Support. Remember, success doesn't come with shortcuts, and leadership doesn't come with a silver spoon. It's built on hard work, intentional action, and the decision you make every day to keep moving forward. If you're ready to connect or join the conversation, text us using the link in the show notes or visit sarahbethherman.com for more. And while you're there, don't miss our digital library, packed with tools to help you keep growing and leading with purpose. Keep showing up, keep doing the work, and know this, you've got everything it takes. We'll see you next time on No Silver Spoons.